Hello.
Lily has always been a dreamer. She spent her childhood in a small town where nothing much happened, and every day seemed like a repetition of the previous one. However, she knew that her heart yearned for more adventure, travel, and the discovery of new horizons. She spent hours reading books about different countries, watching documentaries about cultures, and dreaming of the day when she would be able to see it all for herself. One day, Lily saw an advertisement for a large cultural festival in a neighboring country. The event promised to be exciting. Master classes by famous artists, concerts, gastronomic discoveries, and the opportunity to meet people from all over the world. Lily couldn't stop thinking about it. She imagined herself walking among the luxurious exhibition halls, tasting exotic dishes and listening to live music that touched her soul. But reality quickly brought her back down to earth. Tickets, accommodation, and travel costs were much more than she could afford. Lily's family lived modestly. Her parents had always worked regular jobs and could only provide the bare necessities. They were loving and supportive of her dreams, but financial assistance for such a trip was beyond their means. Lily decided that if she wanted to fulfill her dream, she had to find a way to make money on her own. She remembered an old recipe for her grandmother's cookies that used to bring joy to the whole family. These cookies had a unique flavor, a mix of delicate vanilla, warm chocolate, and a slight hint of cinnamon. Her grandmother always said that the secret was the love with which they were made. Lily decided to give it a try. What if this was her chance to earn money for a trip? The very first evening she went to the kitchen, took a notebook with the recipe, and started cooking. The process was laborious, but at the same time satisfying. Her hands carefully mixed the ingredients. Her body was filled with the aroma of vanilla, and her soul was filled with faith and success. When the first batch of cookies came out of the oven, Lily couldn't help but smile. The cookies were perfect, crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. It was the first step towards realizing her dream. The next day, she went to the town's central square with a small table and a box full of freshly baked cookies. On the table was a sign, "Homemade cookies. Help make a dream come true." People passing by stopped with interest. Some bought one or two cookies, while others took several at once, wanting to support the young dreamer. Lily felt warm in her heart when she heard the words of support from the customers. However, her enthusiasm quickly ran into the first difficulties. The competition on the square was intense. Other vendors offered a variety of delicacies, and not everyone stopped at her table. In addition, the materials for cooking were expensive, and much of the money she earned went to new ingredients. She realized that the path would not be easy, but she could not afford to give up. Every day, Lily woke up early to bake a new batch of cookies. She experimented with flavors, adding nuts, dried berries, and even coconut flakes. People began to notice her creative approach, and over time, she gained regular customers. They said that Lily's cookies reminded them of their childhood or brought comfort on gloomy days. Her heart was filled with joy when she heard such words. But even with regular customers, sales remained insufficient. Lily realized that she needed something more than just a delicious product. She decided to use her creativity and came up with a new strategy. Lily started packaging the cookies in beautiful hand-designed boxes. Each box had a small card with a short motivational phrase or a warm wish written on it. This became her specialty, and people started buying cookies not only for themselves, but also as gifts for their loved ones. Lily also began to actively promote her products through social media. She took pictures of cookies decorated in different styles and wrote about her dream of attending the festival. Her posts began to gain popularity, and people from other cities even started placing orders. This gave her confidence, but the work was becoming more and more exhausting. Lily worked almost without rest, sometimes forgetting to eat. She knew that this was the only way to realize her dream, and she didn't want to waste a single minute. Time was running out, and there was less than a month before the festival. Lily counted her savings and realized that she hadn't even saved half of the required amount. This thought began to darken her mood. She felt her strength running out and her faith in her own abilities weakening. One day, when sales were particularly low, Lily sat down at her table, and cried. She wondered if she should continue at all, but something inside her wouldn't let her stop. The dream of the festival was too vivid to give up. Lily decided to give herself another chance and continue to fight, even if the odds were slim. She knew that sometimes fate sends the brightest moments when it seems that everything is lost. As the days passed, Lily continued to work on her dream. Her perseverance was unbreakable, even though it was getting harder every day. She would wake up at dawn, prepare new batches of cookies, and stand at her table until late at night. But sales remained unstable, and Lily began to feel tired, which was not just physical. It was a tiredness of the soul. One evening, she decided to give herself a little celebration. Lily returned home, lit candles, made a cup of tea, and took her favorite notebook. In it, she wrote down her thoughts, dreams, and plans. She began to draw diagrams of what her trip might look like. Routes, places she wanted to visit, and even people she dreamed of meeting. Her heart was filled with warmth again, and she felt a surge of inspiration. The next day, Lily decided to take a chance. She went to a neighboring town where more people were rumored to be gathering. She rented a small place in the market, although it was expensive for her budget. But she believed it could be a turning point. Her new table looked bright. Beautiful boxes of cookies, colorful ribbons, and the sincere smiles Lily gave to everyone who passed by. The market was really lively. People stopped by her table with interest, asked for the recipe, and bought cookies. Some even came back for a second helping, saying that they were the best cookies they had ever tasted. Lily felt happy. For the first time in a long time, her efforts were beginning to bring real results. But the biggest surprise was waiting for her at the end of the day. Just as the market was about to close, a man wearing sunglasses and simple clothes approached her table. He looked like an ordinary shopper, but something about his mannerisms seemed familiar to Lila. The man looked at her cookies carefully and took several boxes without saying a word. Smiling, Lily thanked him for his purchase. But when he took off his glasses, she almost dropped the change she was trying to count. Keanu Reeves stood in front of her, a famous actor whose image she had seen on the screens of numerous movies. She could not believe her eyes. He handed her a bill that far exceeded the cost of the cookies and said, "Keep the change. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work." Lily stood there stunned. She couldn't even get a word out. Keanu smiled, wished her luck, and moved on, leaving her with the feeling that this was more than just a chance meeting. She knew that this moment would change her life. Lily returned home, full of new strength and inspiration. She realized that her dream was closer than it seemed, and that believing in your abilities can work wonders. After that unforgettable meeting with Keanu Reeves, Lily could not find a place to sit still with joy and wonder. All her worries and doubts gradually dissipated as she realized that fate had noticed her efforts and rewarded her. She knew she couldn't stop, so the next few days were devoted to making her business even better. Lily started creating new cookie recipes, adding unusual ingredients and experimenting with flavors. She also made a short video about her dream and shared the story of her meeting with a famous actor on social media. Her post went viral. People from all over the country left comments supporting her and placing orders for cookies. Lily even started receiving invitations to participate in local food festivals. However, the new level of popularity also brought new challenges. Lily had to adapt to the high demand. Her kitchen was overflowing with ingredients, and her schedule became even busier. She worked from morning to night, but her heart was filled with joy when she saw the grateful feedback from her customers. One day, she received an unexpected message. It was a letter from the organizers of the festival she had been dreaming about for so long. They learned about her story and decided to invite her as a special guest. Lily could not believe her eyes. They offered her to participate in the festival for free, providing her with accommodation and transportation. She felt like she was in a fairy tale where all her dreams suddenly started to come true. Before leaving for the festival, Lily decided to do one more good deed. She collected some of the money she earned and donated it to support a local animal shelter. This decision triggered an even greater wave of support from her community, and people started ordering cookies again. wanting to support her noble deed. When the day of the trip finally arrived, Lily was full of excitement. Her suitcase was packed with boxes of cookies, and her heart was racing with anticipation. It was the first time she had ever left her hometown, and this trip was a symbol that her perseverance and belief in herself had paid off. The festival impressed Lily with its scale. She was standing among hundreds of people who were eagerly approaching her stand. Her cookies became a real hit, and visitors not only bought them, but also took an interest in her story. Lily talked about her dreams, her work, and her unexpected meeting with Keanu Reeves. People were listening enthusiastically, many of them asking for autographs or taking pictures with her. Suddenly, among the crowd, Lily saw a familiar face. It was Keanu Reeves again. He approached her stand, smiling, and congratulated her on her success. They chatted briefly, and Keanu praised her for her determination and talent. He even bought a few more boxes of cookies, saying they had become his favorite. This meeting was another confirmation for Lily that her efforts were not in vain. The festival brought her not only financial success, but also many new acquaintances, offers of cooperation, and faith in her own abilities. She returned home a completely different person, confident, inspired, and ready for new achievements. When Lily returned home after the festival, she felt that her life had changed forever. Although her hometown remained as quiet and measured as ever, she no longer felt confined by its boundaries. Her success at the festival gave her a newfound confidence, and she began to think about how to develop her business further. Lily decided to turn her love of baking into a real business. She began to explore the possibilities of opening her own pastry shop. Her small kitchen could no longer cope with the number of orders that came in after the festival. People from different cities and even countries kept writing to her, wanting to try her cookies. She realized that it was time to take a serious step forward. The first step was to find a place for the pastry shop. Lily approached local businessmen who supported her idea. One of them, an old friend of her father's, offered to rent a small space in the city center for a reasonable price. Lily was extremely grateful for this support and immediately set about setting up the new space. Together with her parents and a few friends, she began to transform the empty room into a cozy pastry shop. They painted the walls, chose furniture and decorations that reflected the warm and homely atmosphere Lily wanted to convey through her products. A sign appeared above the entrance, Lily's Cookies. It was her dream come true. The opening of the pastry shop became an event for the whole town. People gathered to support Lily, and many of them brought their friends and relatives. The line stretched far beyond the door, and everyone wanted to try the cookies that had become legendary. Lily was overwhelmed with emotion as she watched her dream come to life. During the event, Lily received another unexpected gift. A huge box was delivered right to the door of her pastry shop. When she opened it, she saw a letter from Keanu Reeves. In it, he wrote how much he was impressed by her story and wished her continued success. In addition to the letter, the box contained a check for a substantial amount of money, marked for business development. Lily could not believe her eyes. She realized that the support she had received was not just a coincidence. Her efforts, perseverance, and sincerity had attracted people who were willing to help her. With this help, she was able to not only expand her confectionery, but also create jobs for others. The new stage in Lily's life was filled with challenges, but also great joys. She learned the ins and outs of running a business, worked on improving her recipes, and found new partners. Her pastry shop quickly gained popularity, and she was featured in local newspapers and even on television. Soon Lily started receiving invitations to various events and culinary festivals. Her story became an example for many people who dreamed of achieving more despite the difficulties. Lily felt that her journey had just begun and that there were many new heights ahead. Several years have passed since Lily first started her journey to fulfill her dream. Her pastry shop has become not only a successful business, but also a symbol of perseverance and self-belief. People from all over the region came to taste her unique cookies, and her story became known far beyond her hometown. One day, Lily received an invitation to participate in an international cooking competition. It was a prestigious event that brought together the best pastry chefs from all over the world. Lily was excited because participating in such a competition was not only an opportunity to make a name for herself, but also a chance to share her story and inspiration with a wide audience. Preparing for the competition was exhausting, but Lily was full of enthusiasm. She decided to submit her best recipe, the same grandmother's cookies that started it all. She added a few new ingredients to it that reflected her personal journey. Preparing for the competition was exhausting, but Lily was full of enthusiasm. She decided to submit her best recipe, the same grandmother's cookies that started it all. She added a few new ingredients to it that reflected her personal journey. A hint of lemon to symbolize the sour moments of life, and honey to remind her of the sweet rewards of hard work. At the competition, Lily impressed everyone not only with her culinary skills, but also with her story. She told how a little girl with a dream of traveling got to the international stage thanks to her perseverance and the support of kind people. Her speech touched the hearts of the audience and the judges. When the moment came to announce the winner, Lily could not contain her excitement. And when her name was announced, she felt her eyes fill with tears of joy. She went up on stage holding the award and thanked everyone who had helped her along the way. Among the crowd, she saw a familiar face. It was Keanu Reeves again. He was standing in the front row, applauding with everyone else. After the ceremony, they met backstage. Keanu congratulated Lily on her victory and said, "You've proven that dreams can come true if you follow them with your heart." Back home, Lily felt that her life had reached a new level. Her story continued to inspire others, and she decided to use her success to help others realize their dreams. She founded a charitable foundation that supported young entrepreneurs and helped them take the first steps toward realizing their ideas. Lily realized that her journey was not just about baking or achieving success. It was a journey about believing in yourself, supporting your loved ones, and sharing your inspiration with the world. And although her cookies became popular all over the world, the real value for her was the lessons she learned along the way. Her story ended up not just as a success story, but as an example of how small steps, big dreams, and sincere faith can change lives. Not just yours, but the lives of others.
Goodbye.